welcome everyone to day 2 of EPIC39 here at Wolverhampton Racecourse, powered by Intel with the sponsors Overclockers, Noble Chairs, MSI and Draytech. It is me, Panda Richie, one of your casters, along with the beautiful Mido here. So lovely to see you again.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm very good. I got plenty of sleep last night, considering how long yesterday felt.
Yeah.
I'm feeling, refreshed, and I'm very excited for today's game. Control Esports versus Godalions.
Nice and ready for our elimination stage bracket.
Yeah, double elimination today. So today for the players is going to be a grueling one. It's going to be a long one for some teams today. So then we're going to be going into the finals tomorrow. So it's going to be very exciting. Very exciting. So let's talk about a little bit of the team. So Control Esports versus Godalions. So they played yesterday during, obviously, the group stages yesterday. They played the round 6 together, and the Control Esports won 13-4. So going into this, Control Esports, they've already got a leg up on Godalions essentially. So Godalions, they've got something to prove, because we are going into best of 3 today. So despite yesterday being a best of 1 and they got 13-4, Godalions do have that opportunity to bring it back. Best of 3s, it could go all the way, or we could see either team 2-0ing the other. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I wouldn't count out Godalions though. We did see that amazing comeback on Pearl yesterday.
100%.
Sadly, it didn't quite make it all the way for them, but
Yeah.
they did prove that they did put up a good fight.
Yeah, like Granny Knockers versus Godalions yesterday was a very interesting match, because it was, I think we saw it where Granny Knockers were just leading the charge the majority of the way, and then we thought Godalions,
Yeah.
gonna have a bit of trouble getting back. But they proved us wrong. They actually nearly took it all the way, but they kind of fell short, and they ended up losing 13-9 to Granny Knockers. But they did put up a fight. So Godalions, they have the capabilities. They are able to do it, but can they show it to us today?
Let's find out.
Let us find out. So I think we're ready to just go straight into the map vetoes. So I'm going to be seeing what is going to be played. I mean, speaking of maps, well, we've got Pearl has been banned, so Ascent. So we're going to be going to Lotus for our first map, picked by Control Esports. Then Godalions have picked Bind. So I don't think we've actually casted Bind or Lotus yesterday. We did a lot of Haven.
No. Yeah,
A lot of Haven. And look, Haven is the decider.
For us.
Wow, what do you know? Haven's the decider. So we're probably going to be seeing a mirror matchup if we end up going all the way.
Back to Haven, lots of experience there.
Yes.
So Lotus and Bind, let's find out how both these teams play on those maps.
Yes, I'm very interested. Like, in terms of, common agents, the standard agent pings for, Lotus, let's say. We'll just stick with the first map. What would we expect to see?
Oh, you know what I'd like to see it as a Neon.
A Neon?
Neon can work really well on Lotus, being a 3-bomb site map.
Yeah.
It's just a little better than Haven for her, I'd say. So that would be a really interesting duelist pick if we do get to see that.
I'd like to see that Neon now.
Yeah, surprisingly, Deadlock works okay on Lotus. Not the best, but she's alright. So that would be interesting. I'm just thinking of agents that would be fun to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen, typically your Omens and regular initiators. Sky is good as well.
Sky is pretty good on here, yeah. I feel like, was it Astra gets played a fair bit on
Astra
Lotus?
as well. And Raze is probably the most common duelist for Lotus.
I was going to say.
But, let's try to see if we can see something a bit more exciting.
Yes. Let's just hope for some spicy picks today. We've got potentially 3 maps we're going to be casting today. I hope at least one of them we get at least one spicy pick. Because we had a Euro game yesterday and we weren't able to cast that.
I know.
Gutted.
So gutted.
And we were talking about it as well yesterday. So we couldn't even get to see that. But hopefully today will be a different day, but it doesn't even matter if that's not the case, because Valorant is going to be exciting regardless. And I think the teams are ready to go straight into the first game. So we're going to be having Lotus, Control Esports, first pick of the day. So I know we just talked about the teams a little bit, but who do you think is going to be coming out on top of this best of 3? Do you think it's going to be Control, or do you think it's going to be Godalions?
I'm thinking it's going to be Control after the display yesterday. That fantastic win in overtime. Just
my goodness.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I think they really pulled it out the bag there. Godalions did show a lot of strength in Pearl, but yeah, I think it's got to be Control for the favoured here, especially on their pick on Lotus.
Yes, yeah.
I think they've got the advantage.
If they have a little bit of an upset here on Lotus, then we're going to be seeing some very concerned faces from the side of Control. I mean, I did see Pablo this morning. He did sound a bit tired. I don't know what time he got to bed last night, but hopefully it doesn't stop him from clicking heads. So we're going to go straight into Agent Select, and already Godalions is hovering over Breach, and there's the lock-in for the Breach. Sky as well, Raze, and Killjoy there as well.
Breach
hovering.
is pretty good.
And then on the side of Control, we've got the Raze, you know, standard pick. Yeah, so both teams rocking that Raze. A Chamber. I do see Chamber like picked a little bit on here on
pick is Chamber, yeah. It's because of that A bomb site mainly.
Yeah.
The long area you've got out before the site is just a really fantastic hold for Chamber or a Jet. But yeah, Jet I wouldn't say is like the greatest on this map just because of how like perfect it is for Raze, the amount of like cubbies and corners that your nade can clear out with your boom bot as well.
100%. So yeah, so we do have Godalions, they're locking in. They're pretty set on the Breach, Killjoy, Sky, and Omen so far. So just waiting on Woody just to lock in that final agent, but it's probably going to be that Raze pick, let's be honest here. I mean, like you said, Raze is just such a fantastic agent to clear those little ratty corners that teams could potentially be hiding in. And the only reason why I just remember seeing like Chamber playing on Lotus is because when I was casting one of the students' college projects, I saw the Chamber player set up in a lobby with this specific lineup shooting through the wall, and he got a headshot insta-kill at the start of the round.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so if Serafags pulls that one out, I'm going to be very, very happy. So, it's almost a mirror... No, I say almost a mirror match, but it's completely different. But the Raze and the Breach both staying... Oh, Raze, Breach, and Omen. What am I saying? It's just the Initiator as well as the Sentinel that is the difference. So, we're going to be seeing how both teams are going to be playing. It's going to be very, very interesting.
It's a very interesting composition from Control here, yeah, with the Chamber, Fade. Yeah, that is less typical, but, you know, the Breach, Raze, Omen, they're fairly common picks on Lotus.
Yes, yeah.
Same with the Sky and the Killjoy, yeah. I think Godalions have gone for the safer pick, but Control have opted for the Chamber, who, yeah, like you said, can be really useful on this map, but he's just not as common right now. So
yeah, no, I feel like with Control they're gonna have to play a little bit more aggressive, because obviously with Chamber you're gonna have to place your rendezvous in a good spot to be aggressive enough, but also to be able to, you know, kind of save your backside if you need to get out in a click of a button.
Yeah.
So we have got Control here on the attack first, and it's looking like they're gonna be like a bit more of a split between A and B, just probably trying to feel out. See. Like the guy like coming out, but Henny gets a lovely opening kill, and then Woody is there for the trade. Very, very nice. So 1 for 1 so far. Paranoia coming out, not quite catching dieback there. Now we can see that the members of Control, they're slowly starting to group over by Root and Rubble there. Trailblazer coming out, just shooting down the dog. Gives them a bit of information, letting Godalions know that the members of Control are starting to make the way over to A. But you can see that they've just kind of just backed away. They're kind of just holding their place, and now that they've opened the door, the Prowler is going through just to seek out if anyone is hiding in there. I feel like Tree is a very, very common spot for where most people play, so seeing that Godalions is playing very, very passive, like really far away from sight, is very, very interesting, because most of the time we always have at least one person in tree and then probably one either on site, top, or down and drop. But dieback holding this little angle, just waiting patiently, sees the shoulder of Tiny, nearly gets caught by the horn, and then throws out the fault line just to try and slow down the push. And now multiple members of Control are stunned. They're going to be having to back away because of those pain shots. 30 seconds left. Sarah fragging out once again. We know what they can do. We've seen them
unstoppable with those headshots. That Hunter is basically a Guardian.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what she needs in her hands.
Exactly. Sarah Frags is the Guardian of Control. We've seen them yesterday. Now Kettle is just going to be walking in onto an onslaught of Tiny.
One enemy remaining.
And Aki, and then down goes Sarah, but Aki is there to clean up the kill onto Woody, and a very, very good convincing start for Control. They're gonna be feeling good about that one.
Yeah, great start there. So the way the Control approached that was pretty special actually. So they just got a little poke out on B just to see who was there, just feel it out. Lost a team member, but that's fine. We're gonna rotate back round to A. Again, try poke B from the side. They came in through door. Got stopped by the fault line and then the paint shells as well, just completely pushed them out. But that was perfect because it gave Sarah enough time to get that frag on the Sky on A, which allowed them just enough time to push onto the site and get it down.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, they were feeling it out, and then once they got the information, they just worked around it, and it worked out in their favour. So the Haunt coming out from Tiny, not going to be able to find anyone. Sees as well, not going to be keeping anyone in place. Everyone's going to be able to move around freely. Dark cover coming out, blocking the entrance towards B long by the boxes there. And once again, just both teams just playing it slow, feeling it out. Dieback just doing a quick jiggle jump, just to try and find out. He does spot Sarah. Sarah going for that shot with the Marshall, not able to connect. The Prowler just coming out to see if anyone's going to be around, but nothing is happening. But Dizzy taking cover in that dark cover, and it's looking like Control might be going for an execute. Opening the door just to see if they can catch anyone looking through Bend there. Now this is a very, very slow attack. It looks like they're all grouping and they're going to start going forward, waiting for that Haunt to come out. Out comes the fault line. The Paranoid getting multiple members. What lovely stuff in space, but it's not able to capitalize on it. Now Dizzy caught out on the lonesome up in top as Henny managed to get themselves a 2K. Woody throwing paint shells just to try and deny the plant, but it's too little, too late, and Sarah Frags gets a kill onto Dieback. All away onto A, and now Kettle and Woody finding themselves in this precarious situation where Woody is going to be meeting a Marshall, and Sarah misses one, but it doesn't matter because they're able to connect with the other, and it's a 1v5 situation, a classic ace to take the round for the clutch. Kettle can indeed pull something out of the bag. Haunt comes out, able to take it out, gonna not get caught out by the fault line, just misses it, but gets caught by the flashpoint, and there's not much they can do there. They were going to get pincered either way, so they just had to try and throw everything, but unfortunately everything missed.
Very clean, flawless round there for Control. As they were approaching that B site, you know, they weren't met with a lot of resistance, and they were able to just sweep in. Only a single smoke and just one little recon. That's all it took, really. Didn't have the guns to fight back Godalions, so yeah, easily took the site for Control there. Perfect. Sarah Frags positioned themselves outside of the enemy spawn, which just allowed them to get that pick and just make sure that the Godalions couldn't flank back around through top.
Yeah, nah, Control Esports, they've been given so much space that they just kind of get to do what they want to do, like far too long, and it's kind of just being a bit more detrimental for Godalions to just give up that space. I feel like they might need to play these retakes a little bit more aggressively. I feel like some of them, they're just not like working together as effectively, but Space gets an open kill into Henny. Henny, talk about getting caught unawares. Henny walking in onto B site by the lonesome, trying to just feel it out, just unfortunately just gets taken out and just falls down. So Godalions, for the first time in these 3 rounds, find themselves at a man advantage, although it is 1. Control Esports just going to have to play a little bit slowly. You can see that Sarah Frags hanging around in A lobby, just waiting to see if anyone from the flank. And Woody is going to be meeting them as well. We do see Tiny and Pablo there, hanging around B long, just feeling out any form of information, see if they can hear anything. And yet they're going to be hearing the footsteps from Woody. Paranoid coming out over to the boxes over by A site, and then Dark cover coming through, and it looks like it's going to be a B site execution. Yeah, the Prowler finds Dizzy. They know they're there, and Dizzy managed to get one before they fall. Tiny taking the trade, and then Dieback is there for the trade onto Tiny. Aki faking the bomb plant, but the aftershock is there. Not going to be quite connecting. Sarah Frags finding one, and now it's a 1v2 situation. Aki getting caught by the fault line, and they are stunned to the next dimension, and they blossom into a beautiful blue tree, whilst Dieback diffuses the spike.
Yeah, well played from Godalions there. Definitely, as soon as they get those rifles in hand, feeling a bit more confident just to take those peeks. Space instantly getting that jiggle out and getting that nice little shot at the start, which completely slowed down Control's push. Just allowed them to play a bit more passively. They weren't really doing anything on C, they weren't really doing anything on A, they just kept waiting on B. But Godalions read them like a book, positioned 2 of themselves nicely. And even it was the Control's dark cover from Pawlowski was a bit of their downfall, because 2 kills got away by just dipping back into those smokes. If I don't think they were popped down, they might have just been able to get the kills and clean up.
Yeah, exactly. But Henny going for a very aggressive satchel push, taking Woody out, and the multiple members getting caught by that Haunt as well. Yeah, they just know exactly where they are, and Control Esports are so aggressive. This is the aggression that we know them for. Sarah hanging back, trying to just see if they can get anyone from B. But look, you can see that Control Esports, they've completely taken complete control of A site there. Got Tiny and up there, up onto top, but they have fallen back.
Right there.
And now the momentum has just come to a halt. Slowly, Godalions reconvene together, but Dizzy is going to get caught completely unawares as Sarah gets that kill. And now it's a 3v5 situation. Kettle dropping onto Dropper, gets 2 kills for themselves. Can they make it 3? They're not. And now it's a 1v2 situation. It's all up to Space. Can they make something happen? Serafax is on really low health. They're going to have to Shroud Step onto the bomb site. Find one. Can they find a second? They just need one more bullet. And they do not find it. Not enough time. And down goes the spike. And Sarah is just ready and waiting with that headhunter pointing at the head.
Yeah, brilliant play from Control there. Just distracting the enemies at the start with C and B. Just completely allowing Control to push up A uncontested. They take the site. Really difficult comeback for Godalions. It's like, yeah, they're fully situated, fully down. They've already pushed up ramp. They've already pushed up into A short. It's, yeah.
It's not much you can do.
Not a lot they
like
can
I
do.
said, Godalions are giving Control Esports a little bit too much space, and then they struggle to just try and take it back.
You want to
But
play?
looks like they're going to be going for a C site push. The tour de force coming out from Sarah, as you can see, they are lurking over by route there, while the rest of Control prep themselves to make a push onto C. But we do have Space prepping that paranoia, pushing out, and then Kettle and Space push out, followed by a fault line. Kettle managed to find one, but Pavlovsky's there to get the kill onto Space, and Tiny finds Kettle. Woody holding the shorty. They might get caught out by the paranoia, that they do, and caught out by the paranoia. It's going to have to force them all the way back over through to Waterfall. But we can see, after the utility has been used, Control Esports, they're just rushing down B main, and they're going to be meeting Dieback. Can he get one? He's able to find Tiny, and Aki able to get the trade. And then Woody gets caught completely blindsided as Sarah Frags flanks all the way through onto top and just connects a bullet straight into Woody's back. Now it's all up to Dizzy, Sheriff in hand, and unfortunately that is not going to be doing anything for them as Sarah finds the second kill.
Fantastic. So yeah, the thing about Lotus is you've got all of these like really nice little chokes and close angles. So people like Raze are allowed to just chuck that paint shell into a group which are going to be just completely clustered in a small corridor. And even though the Control know the Godalions are on an eco by there, so they're going to have close range weapons and only their util to work with really. So they go to C, they bait out that paint shell and go, all right, we're going back to B. Now knowing that it's completely clear for them to not get completely naded off site.
Yeah, exactly. They played it really well. They read it like a book. And once again, and a really aggressive push. And the showstopper coming out. Oh, Henny gets 2 with the bazooka. Finding a lovely opening kills. That is a really good execution. It was a little scrappy at the start, but they put a stop to that. Henny did. Space, are they able to find it? No, they're going to whiff the shots of Pavlovsky. Finding that kill, but Kettle shutting down Henny, not allowing Henny to have any more momentum that they already had going into the opening round. And now, Kettle and
Shadows traveling.
Breach are all on their lonesome.
Last player standing.
Dieback falling down. Okay, now it's all up to Kettle. Kettle's going to be meeting Sarah. Sarah, always on these flanks.
Sarah Frey's on the flank now. Yeah, they're going around the map, just catching all of the Godalions players off guard. I think that's about 3 or 4 rounds now where we've seen them just come up behind them completely unexpected.
Yeah, from what I've been seeing on the minimap, their strat is the rest 4 members of Control go one side, and then Sarah just goes to the other opposite end.
Yeah,
if they go A, she goes C.
We know Sentinels are the lurkers, but Sarah's taking it to her next level.
I know.
She's lurking in their backlines.
Exactly, and it's absolutely paying dividends. I mean, it's happened quite a fair few times now. Godalions really need to keep an eye on this. They need to be aware. And it looks like Control are not going to be going for the same attacking strat that they have been for the last couple of rounds. I think they're going to be knowing that Godalions are going to be anticipating this, so they're just going to be playing a little bit more slower. Oh, and Henny's knees just get spotted. Oh, Dizzy, what a lovely headshot. Make that 2! Call him the headhunter. Sorry, Chamber, your role is being taken away now because Dizzy is on the scene, and we can see that Space anticipates that Seraphact is going to be there, so they're going to just adopt the role instead. Seekers going out. Not going to be finding much value. I think they'll use a wee bit too early there. And now Seraphact holding that flank as they try to reconvene. And going to be coming up space. Finds one. Oh, finds two! Just held the trigger that little bit longer. And Kettle found themselves in the wrong place in the wrong time, lining themselves up perfectly for Seraphrag to get a lovely, lovely double kill. Oh, beautiful stuff. I mean, what can you say?
Brilliant work for Sarah there. I mean, this round so far has just been crazy. With Dizzy at that peak, so much value off that Marshall. $900 to just 2 kills taken away from Control. That's just unbelievable.
That's gonna be painful. And then Pavlovsky using from the shadows into the dark cover, hiding. But look, there's a little bit of a gap between the smoke and then perfectly timed from Pavlovsky. Keeping his crosshair, anticipating where Dizzy going to be coming from. The flashpoint coming out. Oh, but Dieback getting caught in the paranoia. Oh, and the 360 comes out. Oh, but they're not going to be giving Seraphrag that kill as Aki just closes it out with a nice, lovely headshot. And it is 6-1 to Control Esports. They're looking so dominant right now.
Really dominant. Yeah, we thought for a second there that Dizzy was able to hold down the fort 1A, getting those 2 Marshall picks at the start. Just fantastic work. It's just not enough, especially with Seraphrag's just completely shutting down that flank. 2 kills in what, 0.1 seconds?
Yeah.
It was basically a collateral.
100%. And I know, honestly, that, like, Sarah played that really, really well because we could see her reconvening with the rest of Control. They were walking towards meeting them up, but at that last second, they turned around, anticipating it if anyone was going to be flanking, and they could have not timed that better.
Yeah, just immaculate timing from them.
Exactly, and now Control Esports, they're going to be going for a very aggressive push on to B site, and then Dieback getting caught in the seas, and then just the paint shells follow up. It's just a death trap there. There's nothing that they could have done about it. Now that the spike has been planted, Dizzy on the lonesome in the back, but they do have the backup of Woody as they just reconvene. Getting caught in the gun line, but Aki finds one. Woody finds a trade, and Henny gets that kill onto Woody as they just back them up. But Kettle and Space finding 2 kills of their own, and then Kettle finding a second to their name, and all of a sudden it's all up to Sarah. 1v2. We know what they're like. The dark cover coming out onto the spike, and they take out the utility, but the spike is going to start getting diffused, and Kettle, they've got themselves a 3-piece. Not much that Sarah could have done. We know what they're capable of, but Godalions shut them down.
Yeah, well played from them there. It's just, yeah, the amount of coordination that Control are showing, but that was just fantastic work from Godalions. Just really well positioned. Space getting those 2 kills in B main. Yeah, just brilliant positioning from Godalions there.
Yeah, despite how aggressive Control were, and they were able to take site, like that one time when Godalions allowed them to have the space, it worked out in their favour. Yeah. Most of the times in these recent rounds that we've been seeing, Godalions just give too much space and they're not able to retake it, but they played that retake really, really well, and this is what we should be seeing from them. We know what they're capable of, and this is what they should be doing. And Space finding an opening kill onto Sarah. This is probably not what Sarah wanted. A bit too overzealous with the aggression there. Being the first one to peek, we know what they should be normally be lurking, but they went for a bit of a different approach, and it kind of cost them their life. Kettle hiding in the dark cover. Now as a Rolling Thunder comes out, it is the green light for Control Esports to go straight on. No one's going to be getting caught, but Kettle's going to be spotted by the Prowler. Now look, Henny, satchel jump onto site, and he's going to be going back into the spawn, but unfortunately they get caught completely unawares as Dizzy finds them, and now the Nightfall coming out. Now only a couple members getting caught. Dizzy finding themselves getting caught by the flashpoint, able to turn around in the same nick of time. But the Haunt and the fault line finds so many, and Aki finds one. Kettle finds the trade. Now as they're walking towards Vol, Pavlovsky finds 2! Now he's going to be zoned away by the Aftershock. He's not able to find the kill onto the diffuser because he gets caught out by that flashpoint, and Dizzy's able to be there to clean up house. And Godalions, what a retake. That was amazing.
I think we're really seeing now Godalions are understanding the way that Control are playing. Instantly pushing that B, getting that first pick on Control's player. They know that Control are pressuring B a lot, and taking that space in B main was just exactly what they needed. Forced them off, rotated back round to C, where they used their Rolling Thunder to enter the site, but none of the players were there because they know how aggressive Control play. They think, that's right, let's back off and just give them a little bit of space, and then we'll take it back.
Right there.
Yeah, they played that really, really well. Again, this is what I'm saying. This is the Godalions that we know, and they are opting to go for a very, very aggressive push over into Rubble, taking space over on A main. You can see that Dizzy there by Root and Woody backing them up on Rubble. And Control Esports, they are just sitting back looking pretty in this dark cover here in A lobby. Serafrags holding that B main now, opting to just sit back and not push forward. But as the Prowler comes out, Woody is going to get caught out by that fault line, and as well as the Paranoia and the Horn. So much information given to Control Esports, and Space finds one, finds two. Can they make it three? No, they're just going to get traded out. That was a really, really good attempt. That is something that Godalions definitely needed, because it was looking spicy, dicey, and just not all that good for Godalions there. But Space coming up big.
That was basically what Godalions needed to win the round. It's given his teammates a chance. It's in a 2v3 situation. It's looking unlikely, Henny with that showstopper, but it's still possible.
Yeah, it is very, very possible. I mean, with that showstopper, it does take a little bit of a while to pull it out. So if Godalions can catch Henny at the right time, they might be able to shut down the show. But as that spike timer starts ticking, Dieback and Kettle having to make the way through. And oh, there comes out the showstopper. And yes, Dieback, they find the kills. That is it. They found the timing. And now it's all up to Sarah. Can they find it? No, they cannot. And Kettle closes it out. And Godalions, they've played these retakes so unbelievably well. I told you, they needed to find the timing. And they found it.
Space gave them the opportunity, and then they capitalised perfectly. With both players retreating back into tree, Serafrags just holding that longer position just in case a flank was coming. It never came, and that was their downfall, because with both players hiding in tree, all it took was one flashpoint to completely ruin them. The showstopper, like you said, too much time to pull out, was the end of them.
Yes, yeah, just unfortunately, at that point, it's a little bit of a wasted all. I mean, if I was Henny, I think his thought process was they throw the flashpoint, he had a bit of time to, pull it out, and then they would peek out. He probably didn't anticipate how close in, towards tree that they were. And so, with the element of surprise, Godalions just caught them unaware.
Yeah, completely unaware.
And then, yeah, Sarah, like you said, trying to look out on the flank, but unfortunately nothing came about it, and took a little bit too much time, and yeah, it cost them. And all of a sudden, Godalions, they're 4-6 now. They are still behind, but they have been taking these retakes really, really well, and they've been deserving of these rounds.
I think Agu's just a bit hesitant there. They did have another fault line and a flashpoint, but they just didn't use them. I don't know if that's because they didn't actually know that they were going to push tree that fast, but yeah.
Who knows? Only the players know what they were thinking at the time. We can only be the voice of estimation. But going to be seeing how Control are going to be playing this. Yeah, they did just take a timeout, so it's probably a good time as well. I mean, they've been losing quite a lot of crucial rounds. And now as the guideline comes out, gives a lot of information to Dizzy. Now that they can notify the rest of the Godalions that they are making their way over to C-site. And once again, another aggressive push. Henny, Satchel jumping straight in. And the guideline coming through. Sarah finds the trade onto Space and rendezvousing out there, and Pavlovsky finding the kill onto Dieback and Control. 4v2 situation now. Looking really, really good. I don't know what they were talking about in that timeout, but it's doing wonders for them.
It's definitely doing wonders. They probably came up with a plan to execute C, just util after util.
Ooh, Pavlovsky, finding his backside, turn towards Woody, and Woody is just going to be able to just eat that up for breakfast. And now it's a 2v3 situation. It's all up to Woody and Kettle. Tiny peeking out, not able to connect, and Woody finds one onto Aki, and Serafrag closing it out. Fortunately, Woody and Kettle, not enough in the face of Control Esports.
They held down that site very well. Again, they probably, in that timeout, probably just talked about how Godalions are approaching these retakes and thought they need to position themselves around that. And that's exactly what they did. They didn't let them take a sliver of space. Just using their util to push them back instead of passively saving it like they did the last time. Just being a bit more proactive with it and not letting Godalions take any sort of space on that site.
No, definitely not. And I don't know if you saw at the back there, all buying a bunch of shorties. So as we're going into the final round of this first half, and tour de force coming straight out from Sarah. They're not wasting any time, just pulling the punches. And they find one. Dizzy's face just walks straight into the crosshair, and Sarah is just going to take their head clean off their shoulders. As they are walking up, they pick up the Phantom, setting up their rendezvous, making an aggressive push forward. And we do see Woody all on the lonesome on Ben, but it doesn't even matter because Woody and Dieback are there to clean up house. Call them the janitors of Godalions because everything is getting cleaned up and it's all up to Henny. It's a 1v4 situation now. A Vandal in hand, no utility, and unfortunately no more life for them as Dieback cleans up for a 3k, and it's going to be a 5-7 first half.
I don't even know what happened there. It looked so strong. With Control getting that first pick, Serafrax finding Dizzy instantly, just able to walk onto C, and then suddenly, they're all gone.
I know.
Dieback and Woody come from the back and just get rid of all of them in one clean sweep. That was insane. They didn't even get the spike down.
No, they didn't. I mean, Woody was just hanging back there by Bend with that judge. So they were just able to just get a nice, quick bap. Yeah. And then one easy kill for them, and then
Dieback's pressure from the back.
Yeah. Dieback
all over.
Just came from nowhere, just caught Control Esports completely unawares. And yeah, that really cost them. But now that we have got Godalions on the attack, Serafrax finding a lovely kill onto Kettle with the headhunter there, just taking that head clean off. My goodness, yeah, like you said, it is just a pocket Guardian. We know what Sarah's like with the Guardian. Now, as they're making their way back, we do see Godalions just taking site again. Control, they are now playing as if Godalions were. They're just giving the site, but Serafrag is going to be meeting Woody and Space and going to get taken out. And then Tiny all on the lonesome back over in Halls. Now Pablo finding one, not able to find two. Woody good for 3, and Henny is there finding one. Can they make it 2? No. Woody on the way to the ace, but oh, they're able to shut Woody down. Aki preventing Woody from getting the ace, and now it's a 1v1 situation. They do have the fault line there, but they don't know where Space is. Space is able to see. He knows where Aki is. He's got the information. Oh, sees the head, and yes, connects. Space as silent as the night. Loops around, and they take Aki out.
So much tension there at the end with Aki and Space just playing around each other. We can see them through the walls, but they can't see anything, not knowing that they're so close, just on each other's trail, just chasing each other around that bend. My
goodness, it's honestly, like, whenever we do casting or anything and we're seeing all the players, it's actually it's so crazy to see how close players can be together.
Yeah.
And they will just never know.
The amount of times that the crosshair is on someone's head perfectly through the smoke, and you're thinking, just fire, but
just click your left mouse, and then it's just always a sight to behold. But I think Godalions, they're just taking a nice little rest on the sandy shores of Attacker Spawn, waiting for Control to just push up, and that they do. Got a bit of information, and now that they found some information, they are just making their headway straight over to A. Look at them, all 5 making their way down A main. Dieback opening that door, looking like they're going to be pushing through. Yeah, and that Paranoia coming out into tree, not going to be finding anyone. Tiny trying to hold sight, but Woody finds 2, and Henny going to shut them down with the Sheriff. And then, Serafrags finding the kill onto Space as they just tried to go up the ropes. Unfortunately, that is not one rope swing that you want to be on, and Henny finding a second. But Dizzy is there for the trade, and it's all up to Pavlovsky. Classic in hand. Can they do anything with it? They are going to be coming up against a Bulldog if they make the way. Kettle, trigger discipline. They know that Pavlovsky is there. And yeah, all the whiffs coming out, but it doesn't even matter. Because Pavlovsky had the back turn to them, and they were able to close out that round.
Pavlovsky not quite clearing that corner fully there. Kettle being able to just hide in that corner behind the box. Unlucky. But I'd say Godalions gave it a really good push there. And Control, fantastic shots. Just getting those headhunter kills and the Sheriff kill. Brilliant. Doing a lot of damage to Godalions' eco here.
Yeah.
Only having 3 Sheriffs now on their attack.
Yeah, they even though they lost that defense round, they've put themselves into a really good position because it's only Woody that has the Phantom, and then the rest of the team got Bulldog and 3 Sheriffs. And Henny finds a lovely opening kill onto Dieback. Really, really nice aggression coming out from Control. Able to turn away from the guy like Woody, finding Tiny, and then Aki is there to get the kill onto Woody for the trade. And now all of a sudden, all this momentum is just stopped. Space just peeking out. But it doesn't even matter because Kettle's there to back up, getting the kill. And then Kettle finding a second kill for them. Now it's a 1v2 situation. It's all up to Kettle. They've got to go up Pablo as well as Sarah. Now Sarah is a force to be reckoned with, and Pavlovsky, they're backing them up. Spike is down, so Kettle has got a decision to make. They've got 1 minute. Are they going to try and make the way over to A site, or are they going to be going for a Hail Mary play, get the steps in, run all the way over to C site? But as that timer starts ticking, their options start to dwindle. Now this is a very, very, very slow play. Kettle just trying to feel out what's going to be happening. Again, we're approaching 30 seconds left on the clock. Kettle's options are starting to slim down.
30 seconds left.
Not long left in the round as Kettle needs to make a decision. Are they going to go B site? It might be the worst option, but they are unaware that someone is not on C, completely unoccupied.
Yeah, I think this slow walk has really cost them. They put themselves in a bit of a dire situation now.
10 seconds left.
Planting at the bottom of the stairs, and Sarah and Pavlovsky, they were so close. Now as the paranoia coming out, Kettle getting caught, but look at them, they're right there.
Oh no, Kettle. Just the hesitation. I think they thought maybe they haven't seen me and I can get both. What, the greed?
Yeah, I mean,
the greed was their downfall.
there was, I mean,
Sarah Frags doesn't miss,
No,
as you know.
exactly.
Instantly saw them out the corner of their eye. Easy flick for her.
Like, Kettle did hesitate because I think they saw Sarah not checking the corner.
Yeah.
And they were waiting for them to push to get a nice easy double kill,
See
but
if you could take out Pavlovsky as well, but
too little too late.
Too little too late, exactly.
Yeah.
That round was so interesting, though. It was absolute war zone at the start on A main. Paint shells and paranoias and guiding lights and seizures and haunts. Everything just came together at once.
Exactly, and then all of a sudden it just came to a screeching halt.
I'm too far.
There we are, Sarah Frag's just going to have to rendezvous all the way back in towards 4. Just going to give Godalions C site as they just make their way over. And then the Trailblazer as well as the Boombot coming out just to try and find some information. Now, Woody with the showstopper finds Sarah Frag through the paranoia. I mean, being blindsided does not stop a bazooka taking out one of your teammates. So that is a nice opening kill for them. That spike timer starting to tick down. And now, as Control are at a man deficit. Oh, they've just evened out the score as Henny finds a kill of their own, but Space is there for the trade. And again, Godalions, the man advantage, Space faking the Shrouded Step, but it doesn't even matter. Tiny is there, and then Space finds Pavlovsky in the process though. Still, Godalions find themselves in a man up. Tiny having to try and get that spike defused, but Aki is there to find the kill. But it doesn't even matter. Not enough time. They pinch it in, sandwiched, and as Godalions fall, they've brought the rounds to even Stevens, 8-8.
Brilliantly positioned themselves after that plant there. Yeah, Control really had a lot of work to do. Just clearing out that area. I mean, Henny did pop their ult and find a kill with the showstopper. And like Woody did to initiate the fight, but yeah, sadly just wasn't enough. Didn't have enough space to just get in and cause some damage. Like, Godalions just had it completely locked down. That post plant, they were playing outside, C main, playing in CT as well. There's just not a lot they could do.
Oh, and Henny, he's going very, very aggressive over here on June with the Guardian. Just trying to just take some space. You can see that. Yeah, take out the Trailblazer. You can see that Sarah Frags have positioned themselves by door just in case Henny needs that little bit of backup. But it looks like Godalions, they're just trying to get a little bit of information, just trying to feel out where the members of Control Esports are before they make a decision. But we can see, look, Tiny making their way up all the way through to root and by A lobby, waiting patiently like a hunter waiting for the prey. But don't think anything's going to be coming about it. Tiny might just be waiting there for a little bit longer. And Pablo, see, they've got the shorty in hand, just waiting by B main. They're just waiting to see what happens. And now I think Godalions, yeah, Godalions are going to start committing over to C site. Kettle finds one, and then Pablo just pushing out with the shorty. Henny, oh, jumping in. Down goes Kettle as Tiny takes him out. And now the spike is going to get planted. And oh, Dizzy finds a lovely kill onto Henny as the door opens, trying to find anyone in the long range. And now Pablo trying to just get that wall bang. Looks like they're going to have to try and open the door, try and see if they can find something. But it's all up to Tiny and Pablo now. What can they do? Oh, Tiny finds one, Tiny finds two. And now it's a 1v2 situation. Space is still there. hanging on the right side by door, and they're just going to walk out through the smoke, and they're just going to get completely caught out by that one way. Not much they could have done. A valiant effort, but now Godalions, they have taken the lead.
Yeah, not bad for a Control Esports eco round. I mean, there was not a lot that they could do other than just play aggressive or push together. Usually those are the two eco round options. You play it safe, sometimes depending on if you've got the sheriffs or not. If you don't have those sheriffs, better to play aggressive with the team. And that's exactly what they did outside B main. Just push, found that kill, and Tiny was able to utilize that Vandal to just get a couple picks outside C main.
Yeah, no, they did really, really well. Like you said, despite being on economy, they found a huge amount of value, really crippling some of the members of Godalions. Now it's looking like they're going to be going for another C push. Yep, Pablo holding there on B main, but ooh, they're just going to turn at the wrong time, and they're going to get caught out by Kettle. And now Woody making a very, very fast entrance on to C site. Henny finds a kill onto Dizzy, and now it's a 4v4. Woody with a judge in hand. Are they going to be the judge? Jury execution, and Seraphrag finds a lovely kill onto the spike planters. Dieback falls, but Woody is there for the refrag. And now as a paint shell comes into Waterfall, Henny is going to be having to back up. Now as that spike is planted, it is all up to Henny. Can it be the Henny show? They do see that the alarm bot got placed down, and they're just going to take it out. But now with all that noise, Space is able to place that dark cover, preventing Henny finding any information and putting them in a really tight spot. But we can see Woody on the flank about to make a Henny sandwich for themselves, and Space finishes the kill. And now all of a sudden, Godalions, they were on the back foot for the majority of this game, but they found themselves in lead position right now. If I was Control Esports, I would be feeling very, very nervous right now. Despite beating them 13-4 yesterday, this is a completely different match from what we saw on paper.
Exactly, yeah, and sometimes in that round we saw Seraphrag just push through that smoke and find that headshot. And then repeat again with the tour de force, sadly not finding the shot, but sometimes what it really shows is it can just pay off to have a lot of confidence. And just peeking through, if she found that kill on Woody, I think that round would have been a whole different story.
100%, yeah. Just missing that shot on the tour de force probably did cost them quite a lot, but Control Esports, they're not down and out. Seraphrag's aggressively pushing up, just trying to find these aggressive kills. They're trying to find a lot of value as much as they can. I think Control Esports at this point in time, they're just trying to find whatever they can. Pablo hiding behind the box with the sheriff now. And Tiny holding in tree with the judge there. Guiding Light not going to find any information from members of Godalions, but now that they know that there's no one around there, it does give them somewhat of a green light to make the way onto A site. But Tiny hears all the footsteps. Here's the door opening. Can they find one? Yes, they do. Can they find two? With the judge, they find two, but with the reload, Dieback is able to wrap around the door and find Tiny on the backside and put a well-placed bullet to the head, and Woody making the way through up the stairs. Seraphrag's with the headhunter, able to find the kill onto Woody. Woody just not hitting the shots quite like they wanted, and as that Rolling Thunder comes up, oh, Seraphrag is going to get caught in that, and now Pablo is able to find Dieback backing up Sarah, and now Kettle just caught completely unawares on their lonesome. The lockdown was down, but it doesn't even matter because down they fall.
Absolutely brilliant round from Control there, and that is exactly what I'm talking about with Control being able to utilise those eco rounds so well. Normally they're not able to win them, but this time was an exceptional change. Getting a thrifty round there. Just utilising it so well. Seraphrag's popping that headhunter, finding another kill with that. But Tiny really making the most out of that judge. Excellent timing outside of A door. Finding one, finding two, and causing so much damage to Kettle that they were just doomed. Receiving one-shot body with a sheriff, and then that's what the rest of the team had. So it was just perfect. Perfect eco round.
It was honestly, Control have been playing these eco rounds really, really well. Even though they are on the back foot in the eco rounds, they play them really, really well. They find huge amounts of value. Even though they haven't won some of the eco rounds in the previous rounds in the first half, they've been doing really, really well in this second half with them. And now they are slowly pushing over onto B site. Godalions waiting and prepping themselves. Pavlovsky holding that paranoia.
I've got your trail.
And now as the Seekers comes out, it is going to be the green light, and Pavlovsky is going to be having to be pushed back by the Seekers as well as the flashpoint. And now Godalions, they've just taken complete control of site. Swiftly they make it on, and swiftly they are executing everything. And now the rolling thunder coming out, Henny getting completely caught, and all the shrouded step comes out as Space is able to get out in the nick of time. And then down dieback goes. Aki finding one for themselves. It's a 3v3 situation. Aki throwing out the flashpoint. Oh, not good. Oh, they're able to find the kill onto Woody. Really, really nicely done. And now Tiny making their way through the smoke, finding one. Can they find two? Yes, they can. They close it out. Aki, a lovely distraction to turn Space's attention away as Tiny's able to clean up the kills. Able to just get back. And that Nightfall that they use really helped them out.
Really good use of Nightfall there. I thought that was going to go in Godalions' favour. As soon as they used that Rolling Thunder to push back into C-Link, it was just... yeah, unbelievable. Dieback took a paint shell to the face, landing on 1 HP. Still managing to find the kill on 1. And then I just went downhill from there. Tiny able to clear up, getting the final 2 kills in that 1v2.
Yeah, and Control Esports bring it back to even Stevens. So on the attack, Godalions, they're the ones on this eco. They are rocking 5 sheriffs. Now if they hit their shots, they can find huge amounts of value. Seraphrag's using the operator now. Find a lovely opening kill onto Woody as they rendezvous back. Dizzy sees Henny jiggle peeking. Out goes a Boombop, gonna have to take that down. Now the showstopper comes out. Flashpoint, not able to find the kill onto Dizzy, but they finish it off with a lovely headshot to the face. Now Space on top, and now they're able to just back away, but Seraphags, look at the kill feed, they managed to find a kill onto Dieback there. Down onto B main, they repositioned themselves and they found a huge amount of value. And now it's all up to Kettle and Space. Kettle not able to find the kill as Tiny holding the angle with that Vandal there, ADSing at the head. Able to get the kill, and it's all up to Space. Sheriff in hand. 3 bullets in the chamber actually. I think they're going to need a little bit more, just try and close out the round. Slowly inching towards C site. And Aki holding that fault line there, waiting for just a little bit of a noise. And there it is, and now they're able to just capitalize on that. Small mistake from Space allowed Aki to just absolutely decimate them.
Yeah, and as we can see, the operator in the hands of Seraphrag finally being put to really good use. Such, like you mentioned, just that perfect reposition to just find that kill outside C-Long. Playing off their teammate, backing right round to B, doing the exact same, playing off your teammate, finding an opening, peeking, getting the kill, using that rendezvous to their advantage. Yeah,
and they did really well for that. I think being unpredictable is probably one of the best things that you can be doing in VALORANT, and Sarah is everything and that.
Exactly.
And now Godalions, they are going to be taking a timeout. I think that's pretty well timed. It's 11-10. Control Esports finding themselves back in the lead now. They've taken it back. Godalions had a shining hope that they might be taking all the way, but Control Esports putting a stop to that one. So let's see what Godalions will be talking about, because I think they're going to need to just take a little bit of a step back, rethink, just take a breather and just re-strategize how they're going to be making their way forward for the rest of the rounds.
Especially as this is Control Esports' pick. And Godalions have a real shot taking this map now, 10-11, it's really close. So if they can take Control's pick, it's straight on to bind their own choice.
Yeah.
And they're in a really good position entering that second map if they can win this one.
100%. It's like you said, if Godalions do take this away from Control Esports, it is going to be a pretty big upset. And is that a little baby teddy bear just getting sacrificed in the middle there?
I think it is.
Just having a flower just sprout from the stomach, you know, like an alien when the little face hugger just comes out. But anyway, this talk about that, the chaos is just ensuing the start of the round as just utility and it's just getting thrown out completely, and Woody and Aki are able to find kills of their own. And now it's a 4v4, even Stevens. And all of a sudden, that chaos is just simmered down. Kettle making the way forward. Aki over. Take out that Trailblazer, and Pavlovsky finding a lovely kill onto Kettle. Just holding that angle there, just patiently waiting for someone to just walk in. And then unfortunately, Kettle found themselves at the end of a gun barrel from Pablo. Guideline coming out. Henny getting caught by that fault line. And oh my goodness, what a swift execution that was. Henny didn't even have a single second to react. Caught completely unawares. And Godalions find themselves at a really good spot. Space. Shroud stepping up onto top, and they find huge value as they take out Sarah, Frags, and Dieback. Unfortunately, finding themselves on the wrong rope swing as Pavlovsky able to take the kill. And oh, Space repositioning onto the top of the box, finding a lovely kill. They know where they are, and Aki using that flashpoint just to disorientate Space there. And Space, oh my goodness, looking at the wrong place at the wrong time. Aki just keeping themselves up on top. Really
a valiant effort from Godalions there. Really well played, using that utility to just push them back into their spawn a little bit. But they had to retreat. They had to use their util back. Those flashpoints just really pushed them back. Aki, perfect use there. Just completely disorientating Space. Couldn't find the space to stand,
exactly,
and then he just got his head blown out.
I tell you what though, I did really like how aggressive Space was in that little scenario where Godalions, they took Space, they got the spike down, and Space just shrouded step up onto top, catching Seraphis completely unawares, able to capitalize on that, and then they shrouded step back onto the top of the box, repositioning and getting themselves another kill. But Sarah, so aggressive, but unfortunately they will be falling to the hands of Dieback. And now with that operator gone, Godalions, they've got such a good shot now of taking C site. They are going to be slowly making their way forward. And Henny, oh, unfortunately, they're not going to be finding the kills. They're just a little bit too overzealous there with that door opening. Unfortunately, that door that opened just closed right back in their face. And now, Godalions not opting to plant the spike just yet. They're just feeling out just to see if any members of Control Esports decide to make the way over. And that they do. Now the spike is finally going to get planted down. 2 ultimates on the side of Godalions now. That spike being planted allowed Space to get there from the shadows. But look, we do have Aki with that Rolling Thunder. But there's also a Rolling Thunder on the side of Dieback as well. And Pavlovsky with the Odin finding a lovely kill on to Disney. Now it's a 3v4, the showstopper coming out. Pablo finding one, and then Woody's just going to take out Pablo with a bazooka right into the ankles. And now it's all up to Tiny, a 1v2 situation. Not a single bit of utility to the name. If they get this kill, they will be able to get their nightfall. But unfortunately, Woody's just going to close out the round. Control Esports, they're still on match point, but Godalions just need one more round to take it to overtime.
Godalions really feeling the pressure now. It's up to them to take this into their overtime. Great play on to see there. And yeah, it's just unfortunate getting control. Just can't get a full grasp on the situation there. Godalions popping that showstopper. Woody finding the pick. It's just great.
Yeah, they did really well. They played it slow onto the site. Once they got onto site, they didn't do anything for like the first 15 seconds. They played really patiently, and I was questioning it a little bit, I will admit, but it ended up working out for them.
Ended up working out well.
Yeah, so Pablo setting up that one-way over onto box, just to see if Sarah's going to be just pushing out. Information given out to Control as the Guiding Light comes out, blinding Dizzy there. And it's just going to be very slow push from Godalions. Sarah just still waiting there on the cusp of their rendezvous. You see that the Trailblazer is prepped as it comes out. Sarah Frags is going to have to take that out. They're just going to have to rendezvous out of there. They're not going to try and ego peek that one. They knew that they might not have an opportunity. They tried to go for the peek. They're going to get flashed twice, and the dark cover is going to be setting them back into halls. They just completely push back to now. Godalions have complete control of site, but Prowler coming out, going to be catching one of the members of Godalions, and Kettle finds that open kill onto Henny. And now the Rolling Thunder coming out, as well as the Nightfall, and Aki and Tiny find 2 kills for themselves. And now Dieback is going to retaliate with their own Rolling Thunder, not able to capitalize on it. Flashpoint coming out onto Dieback, able to take out that Prowlers in the nick of time. Sarah Frags with the headhunter in hand, Tiny finding one, Sarah finding another, and Tiny closing it out with a lovely 3k. And now that is Control Esports taking map number 1 in this best of 3 series, putting them on series points.
Absolutely sealing the deal there. Sadly, Godalions, it just wasn't enough. Using that Trailblazer to force off Sarah Frags, forcing her to rendezvous out with that Operator just not giving them a single chance to find a pick. Using their ults to cascade onto the site. Yeah, there's nothing they could do.
Yeah, no, really, really well done. Both teams put up a wonderful fight throughout that round. They're on Lotus. Really, really nicely done. And congratulations to Esports for winning map number 1. But they still got one more to go if they want to close out for a 2-0 deal. So, we are quickly going to be going to a 5-minute break before the next map starts. So, got enough time to get yourself a quick little drink. So, it's me, Amido here, EPIC39, sponsored by Noble Chairs, MSI, Overclockers, and Draytech, powered by Intel. So, we'll be seeing you very, very shortly for the next map.